Hey guys, and welcome to Citrus Collective. My name is Surrendum. I'm super excited to give you guys the pop culture breakdown on the latest and greatest music, fashion, you name it, up and coming artists, different genres, niche topics, and communities that I would like to surface and bring attention to, and especially for those that are really early in their career and super talented and have yet to get the exposure that they want or need. I think there's a ton of talented people out there, and I really just want to create a space where, you know, it's easy to talk about the mainstream artists that have already made it, but I love being on the edge of things and finding trends before they go viral or before they become mainstream. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in. Again, like, subscribe, and comment. Outside of that, for today's topic, I'm going to talk about 4 artists that I think have huge potential and also are making amazing music, you know, for where they are in their career and have potential to grow in the future. So I don't think this is a surprise. The first one is Didi Osama. I think Didi Osama is absolutely talented. Like, in some ways, he's the whole package, right? I think what differentiates him is, and I have to say this, is the boy is beautiful. Like, this man is gorgeous. He's young, he's a baby, I get it. So, anywho, he's amazingly good looking. I think he has his music skills on top of that. I would like to see some variety. I know he's coming from the drill scene in Harlem, which, if you've listened to NYC drill music, it can get pretty repetitive. It's like using old samples or new samples. And a lot of it is all about like spinning blocks, which I understand that's the life that they live, and I'm not going to take away from that, but it would be good to see some variety. And I think recently he's been starting to dabble into different types of music, some more of like the poppy sounds. One of the things I would say is it's a bit of a hindrance for him right now because he is young. That means he has a lot of room to grow, experiment with different sounds, different artists, figure out what he wants to get into in terms of his music identity and the creative direction he wants to go in, which is great. It creates a lot of opportunity for him to maneuver, and I think he's doing a great job of this. If you noticed, for the last like month and a half or so, he's essentially dropped music every week, if not every other week, working with different artists. Like Sofego recently, Lil Zay Osama, Lil Mabu. Each one has a different sound, which allows him to experiment and go into these different like hyper electronic sounds, or true drill music, or like more Chicago drill music, which is great because it allows us to see him in different facets of what his skill sets are capable of doing. But I think if his career is to continue, he has to start making shifts in the sound and like the variety of lyrics that he's offering up to listeners. And maybe once he finds that nice mixture of like staying true to his identity of where he's coming from and also building the new identity that he wants to grow into as this mainstream large artist, that will be a fun ride and journey to see him go along. But I mean, he's moving fast. He's already, you know, on tour with, or about to start tour with, Lil Durk, Kodak Black, and Ali Choppa on the Sorry for the Drought tour with Lil Durk as the headliner. I think he's also seeming to be dating Alabama Barker, which I'm sure is great for exposure for him, considering her closeness and exposure to the Kardashians. So it's lining up well for him in terms of his career. Again, he is very young, so I would like to see him experiment more with different sounds and get help along the way, especially the interviews, guys. Like, these young rappers are becoming famous because of their charisma, their music, but they need a lot of help on the media training. So anyone out there, like, I'm a huge fan of him. I would love to see him to get more media training, and I think that will really help him. Second, and I'm actually a really big fan of him, Sugar Hill D-Dot. Same thing. Grew up alongside Didi Osama in Harlem. what he's done is, I think he's actually done a great job with his song, Let Her Go, of actually showing us that variety in tonal sounds. It wasn't like traditional drill, but it had underlying tones of it and the dances and the music scenery. So it's like he brought a lot of that same energy without just being pure drill. Like he kept it also somewhat poppy and hip, where it was truly a mainstream song. And I think he's been slower to release songs, which I actually think is a good thing. Like he's going about it very differently, where maybe he's only releasing things that he thinks are up to a certain standard or par based on what sounds he's strategically trying to put out. So I don't think that's a bad decision. Next, and I'll wait before I get into that, I just want to say I don't think Sugar Hill D-Dot is getting the love and attention he should be getting. Long term, I think he has huge potential, and genuinely, you know, I'm always the fan of the underdog, so I love Didi Osama, but I would like to see Sugar Hill D-Dot get more of the limelight, and I think he has really long-term potential here. Next, Wolfface Joey. This is a new artist I just discovered in the last few weeks. I noticed Tariq from Power has actually been posting his songs consistently and doing the sturdy dance. I don't know if they're friends or if there's a connection there, but this artist is really interesting. He's got this like soft poppy hyper pops sound with like more traditional New York rap. What's interesting about him is like sonically the music is just like so dopamine and like and fuel. Like you listen to and you're like, whoa, this is really soft on the ears, but also so catchy. And I think the combination of the two, it's almost like that sweet and sour or sweet and savory mixture that's like the golden ratio for food, is somewhat parallel to what I would think of when I think of his music. And on top of that, you can tell he's got a nice creative direction going for him visually, like from his music videos to his album cover. It's like that soft poppy cover, which you don't see a lot of, especially like New York or drill rappers going into that. And I think it's a unique mixture of sounds and visuals to put together. So I'm a huge fan of his. His last video for Anita specifically is the song that I'm a huge fan of. Has gone 65,000 views. Would love to see that go farther and go viral. I think it's clear that Tariq's trying to help him out by consistently posting the video, which huge fan. Tariq and yeah. Moving on. This one is not a rapper, but he's a producer, a multi-platinum producer, and he's very young. Nico Barron. He had a video go, or a few beats go viral on TikTok. The one with people doing like all the Drake raps and sounds over it. He clearly has an ear for music. I think he has potential. I don't know what he's gonna grow into, but it would be nice to see him actually like delve into the music making himself. I've seen him post a few songs of his own. I don't know, but for some reason, something tells me to look out for him. Like, this guy's gonna go far. And he's already being followed by like Rap Caviar on Instagram, which I think like gives him the acclaim. He's worked with, who was it? Kid Laroi. Yeah, so I'm excited to see where he goes. Would love to have these people on a podcast someday. So that's the end goal. But yeah. Stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Again, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys want to see or hear. I research this stuff all day. So if there's specific topics, please comment and I will get back to you. Thanks.